What's up, kiddos? I am excited to work on this lesson with you right now, and it's going to be a little tricky. Our math is getting tougher, and it should. Like, we started out really easy and really slow and trying to lay a foundation, and now we get to ramp things up a little bit, okay? So, what I want to do is kind of talk about slope-intercept form. And slope-intercept form will always look like this. I'm going to give you an example of what it's going to look like. Y equals, I'll change up some colors, 2x plus 5. Okay, and this is where you kids are really going to start to take some notes, right? We always want our y on the left by itself. Okay, now whatever number is in front of our x here is called our slope. And sometimes our slope is a fraction. Okay, it could be a fraction. Okay, remember, it's rise over run. It's our up and our down over our right. And I'll talk about that in a little bit, but that's our slope. And this guy over here, this number at the end, is our y-intercept. That's why it's called slope-intercept form, because if you make it look like this, it's so easy to identify what the slope is and what the y-intercept is, and it's really easy to graph. It is like crazy easy to graph if you can make our equation look like this. And this is what we always want to aim to get our equation to look like. Now, if we slide down here, our equation doesn't look like that. Okay, and that's a problem. So we have 5x minus 4y equals 8. Okay, and this is when you kids are kind of following along, you're writing, or even if you just want to watch this first one, just have me watch it, or just will you watch it and I'll go through it, and then, when we do the next one, see what you can do. Okay, now we want our y on the left. We want our y by itself, which means we got to get this 5x over here on the other side. Well, it's a positive 5x, so I'm going to subtract 5x from both sides. Now, I'm actually going to write them in front of the 8, okay, because that's how it looks up here. We have our x first and then our number. So it looks like we have negative 4y equals, I'm going to write my x first, and then I'm going to write my number over here. Okay, now we need to get y by itself, so I have to get rid of this negative 4. I'm going to divide negative 4, divide negative 4, and divide negative 4. We're dividing it to everything. Did you see that? Okay, and what we have left is we have our y, and then we have this fraction. Don't freak out. We don't mind fractions in slope-intercept form. They actually make our life easier, so don't trip out when you see that. But a negative divided by a negative is a positive. So I'm going to make this positive 5 over 4x. And then positive 8 divided by negative 4 is a negative 2. Okay, now I want to show you how you would graph this. Okay, and it's really easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's not the best, neatest graph, but we don't need it. Okay, now I told you that this number at the end is our y-intercept. So easy to see because he's right there at the back. What that means is on our y-axis, that's where that point is. Since it's negative 2, it's actually down here at negative 2. And it's always going to lie right on this y-axis right here. Okay, now we have our slope. This number is our slope, 5 over 4. Now, since it's positive at the top, that means we're going up, and we always go right. If it was negative at the top, or a negative number, we would go down and right. So watch, we're going to go up 5 and over 4 from this point right here. Up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, over 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's what our line looks like. Okay, and you can see, what does that match? If you look, okay, it's definitely not that guy down here. Okay, and it's definitely not this guy right here. So it's got to either be this guy here or this guy here. Well, look, do you see how it crosses down here at negative 2? This guy crosses up at around positive 2. So he's out of the question. Oh, this guy crosses at negative 2. Our answer is A. Okay, beautiful, right? Beautiful. So that's slope-intercept form. Now for number 2, this one's a little different because you're like, man, that's not slope-intercept form, right? That's different. Well, I'm giving you these questions because I want you to be familiar with them. This means y equals -4. What that means is y is always -4. So pick a point. Pick a point 0 and make y -4. Pick another point. You could pick anything, 2, and make y -4. Okay? Now when you graph that, you have the point 0 and then -4 down here. Then you have the point 2 and -4 down here. Well, that looks like a line like that. Well, this guy's definitely out of the question. This guy's out of the question. This guy's out of the question, right? So what does our line look like? It looks like this guy, which is A. And I know I went through that one a little quickly, but that's okay because that's a special type of problem. Now, I really want you to take notes here on number 3 with me, okay? Because this is where we start to get into really practicing, okay? So I'm going to write this guy out. 3x minus y equals 1, okay? And we said we want our y by ourselves, so we got to get this x to the other side. So I'm going to subtract 3x, and he's gone. So it looks like I have -y equals, and we put our x first, -3x, and we have plus 1. Okay, we don't want a negative y, we want a positive y. So we're going to divide by -1, divide by -1, divide by -1. And we have y equals, I'll leave this as a fraction because we actually want fractions in this type of problem. So I'm going to make this positive 3 over 1 because a negative divided by negative is a positive, and I'll put x there. And then 1 divided by -1 is actually -1. Okay, so what that means is that my y-intercept is down at -1. Well, yes, this is down at -1, that's good. This is down at -1, that's good. Is this guy at -1? No. Is this guy at -1? No. Okay, so now we're left between these two problems. Well, let's look at our slope now. This is positive, so it means we're going up 3, and this bottom number is always right. I always go right with that number. Okay, so this means that, hey, I'm going up 3, right 1. Up 1, up 2, up 3, right 1. Does this guy go up 1, up 2, up 3, right 1? No. So B is out of the question, and it looks like A is our answer yet again. Okay? Yeah, this is slope-intercept form, and we just got to practice, and we got to practice. Okay, so let's practice again. We're going to write x plus y equals 4. Okay, we want our y by itself, so I'm going to get my x over here. I'm going to subtract x and subtract x. Okay, y equals -x plus 4. Now, what we need to see here is there's a number in front of this x. It's actually the number -1. And if I wanted to write that as a fraction, I'd put it over 1. So it's -1 over 1. So that means for my slope, I would go down 1, right 1. And my y-intercept is up at 4. Well, this is up at 4. That's good. Is this y-intercept up at 4? No. Is this y-intercept up at +4? No. Is this guy up at +4? Yes. Okay, so now we got to figure out what's going on. I'm going for my slope, I'm going down 1, right 1. Down 1, right 1. Okay, that's what the line should look like. So A is out of the question. Does this guy go down 1, right 1? Yes, he does. So D is the answer. Okay? Now is when we get to start to practice. Okay, I've got some more problems for us to kind of work on. I want you to do number 5 and number 6, please, on your own. So you're going to press pause. You're going to do 5. You're going to do 6. And then you're going to press play when you're ready for me to go over it with you. Okay? All right, let's do 5. This says x equals 2. So that means x will always be 2. So I'm going to put a 2 for that point, and I'm going to put a 2 for that point. and then I can pick any number I want. I'll pick 0 and I'll pick 1. Okay, so let's check on the graphs what's going on. I got to go over to 2, 0, over to 2, 0, up, that worked. What about over to 2 and 1? 2 and 1, up, that worked. Okay, A is the 1. Okay, A is the answer. Now for number 6, let's do this guy here. 2x minus 3y equals 6. Okay, now we want, first step is always move this x over to the other side. So I'm going to subtract 2x, and I'm going to get rid of that guy right there. Okay, what do I have left? I have negative 3y equals, the negative 2x goes in front, and I have a plus 6 after. Okay, we got to get this y by itself, so I'm going to divide negative 3, divide negative 3, divide negative 3. Okay, it leaves me with y equals, a negative divided by a negative is a positive, so I actually have 2 over 3x, and a positive 6 divided by a negative is a what? Negative 2? So this means that my y-intercept is down at negative 2. This guy's down at negative 2. Good. This guy's down at negative 2. Good. This guy's at positive 2. Bad. This guy's at positive 3. Bad. So we're between these two graphs now. If we look at our slope, it's going up 2 because that's positive, and right 3. Does this guy go up 2 and right 3? No. Does this guy go up 2 and right 3? Yes. Perfect. So B is our answer for that question. Okay? Looking good. Looking real good. Now, which one I want you to do here? I think 7 is probably the trickier question. So let's see if you can do 7 on your own. Okay, so take a minute, press pause, try 7, and then stop. Okay, so let's do this one. I'm going to write it. X minus 2y equals negative 6. I'm going to move this guy in front, which means I subtract x. I have negative 2y equals, and I'm actually going to put a 1 in front of this guy. So instead of writing negative x, I'm going to write negative 1x, because you'll see how that helps me in a second. And that's why I said this one's tricky. It was really just that one thing that made it tricky. So I'm going to divide negative 2, divide negative 2, divide negative 2. And we have y equals, a negative divided by a negative is a positive 1/2 x. And then negative divided by a negative is a positive 3. So our y-intercept is up at positive 3. Is this guy up at positive 3? No. Is this guy up at positive 3? Yes. Is this guy up at positive 3? No. Is this guy up at positive 3? Yes. Okay, so now it's between B and D. Now let's look at our slope. That's going to tell us everything. Positive number at the top, that means we're going up, and we're always going right. So does this guy go up and to the right? Up 1, right 2? Nope. Does this guy go up 1 and right 2? Yep. So D is our answer there. Okay. So technically, yeah, I mean, that's plenty of practice, I think, for us to do. I mean, how many problems did you practice? 1, 2. Let's do one more. We need to practice. We really do. For those kids that take the video seriously. Okay, so go ahead and try 8. Press pause. Work on number 8. Press play when you're done, and we'll go over it. Okay, let's do this. So we have 5x minus 4y equals 16. Get the 5 to the other side. So I'm going to subtract 5x, gone. So I have negative 4y equals negative 5x plus 16. And then I'm going to divide -4 because we want to get that y by itself. Okay, and I have y equals, negative divided by negative is positive. And then I have a positive divided by a negative is a negative. Remember, this is our y-intercept down at -4. This guy's down at -4, good. This guy's down at -4, good. This guy's not at -4. And this guy's not at -4. Remember, the y-intercept is where it crosses this line. Okay, now our slope is up 5, right 4. Up and to the right. That one makes sense. Does this guy go up and to the right? No. So he's out of there. And our answer is A. Okay, hopefully that helped you. You've got some homework problems now to complete. I'm only giving you 4 because I'm kind. And then you'll have one more lesson that's actually going to show you an even easier way to do these problems, which everyone loves. And then, come the quiz, you can pick whatever one you like. This way, slope intercept form, or the other way I'm going to teach you on the next lesson. All right, kids? Thank you.